We finally have some breaking news in the Raptors content space, as it was revealed today by Shams Charania of The Athletic, exactly what the Atlanta Hawks offered for Pascal Siakam. So there's been all this speculation about Pascal Siakam, what the Raptors want to do with him. So is it the Raptors wanting to trade him? They don't want to trade him. Everything was pointing towards the Raptors trading him, but nothing had really happened as of yet. And along with the discussions about a possible trade, we were kind of debating exactly what the Hawks are going to be offering and what the Raptors should do with the player. So I really wanted to talk about Masai Ujiri's side of things because there was an interesting conversation that popped up in the Amateur Sports Discord. Please make sure you're also in the Amateur Sports Discord. The link will be in the description for that if you want to go check that out. But an interesting conversation popped up where some of the members were discussing Masai Ujiri and how he's kind of lost his touch in recent years. And there's been a big fall off with management. I've said it many times in the post-championship era. Losing assets for nothing, losing assets for less than we could have gotten, Kyle Lowry in particular, and losing trades. Like Masai Ujiri in the first 7-8 years operating the Raptors, he had not lost a single trade. Like, he had not lost a single trade. Up until the 2022 trade deadline, Masai Ujiri had never lost a trade with the Raptors. You can go back to his track record. At the absolute most, you could debate that he had tied some trades, but so consistently, Masai Ujiri would come on top in trades. That has really shifted as well. You know, at least we had that. You know, we had we drafted well, we traded well, which made up for a lot of mishaps with free agents, etc. People not wanting to come to Toronto, etc. That's dried up. And along with that drying up, the overall talent levels of the team have dried up as well. And there's been two trades in particular where the Raptors have lost that I'm citing here, and that is the Thaddeus Young trade, which you gave away a first-round pick, which eventually turned into Malaki Branham, who looks quite good after his rookie season, for a rental Thaddeus Young, who you then overpaid. And then, as a result of that trade, you put yourself in a difficult spot, and by putting yourself in that difficult spot, you made another bad trade at the 2022 trade deadline, or 2023 trade deadline, rather, when you traded for Jakob Poeltl, and you gave away a first-round pick to do that, just to still miss the playoffs. Now, I like Jakob Poeltl, and I think that trading a first, a second, and Kem Birch, salary filler, to make that trade work, I think that trade was good in a simple look at what we got, look at what we gave away, but the direction it propelled the Raptors was not a good direction, therefore it made it a bad trade. And you know what? A top 6 protected pick is looking really good for the Spurs based on the way the Raptors are shaping up so far in this offseason. So there's all these conversations now about Masai Ujiri. Has Masai Ujiri lost his touch? Has Masai Ujiri kind of exposed himself for what he is? Did, Kawhi Leonard falling into his lap, that made Masai Ujiri look so good? I don't stand for that because it was truly a truly remarkable job putting together that championship team. But overall, Masai Ujiri, there's been some mishaps here. Fred VanVleet leaving for free recently, and the possibility of Siakam and OG leaving for free at the end of the season. And even still, Gary Trent doesn't have his extension. So where these conversations came from was the recent trade offered to the Raptors by the Atlanta Hawks, which was finally revealed today by Shams Charania of The Athletic. And the Atlanta Hawks offered a package centered around DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, so a recent first-round pick, and draft compensation to the Raptors for Pascal Siakam. So draft compensation, the thing is, draft picks, what is it? Only second-round picks? Is it 2 firsts, 3 firsts? What is it? I'm hoping it's, 2 first-round picks in this deal based on this. And I don't think this is very far off, but I really feel like for the Raptors to do this trade, they need DeAndre Hunter and Onyeka Okongwu. Like, AJ Griffin is a recent first-round pick, but didn't have a great rookie season and really struggled in Summer League, which was quite surprising as well. So I'm not really bought in there, but ultimately, I think the Raptors are going to have to get 3 of an assortment of players, which includes DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, AJ Griffin, who was there, and Kobe Buff get along with draft picks. So it's going to have to be 3 players in order to make that one happen. But ultimately, where people in the Discord were talking about the Raptors possibly having losing touch, or Masai Ujiri in particular losing touch, those conversations came from, is Masai Ujiri just so stubborn with these negotiations that teams know the only way they're going to trade with the Raptors is if, basically, unless it's the Spurs, unless you're the Spurs, teams know that if you trade with Masai Ujiri, you're probably going to lose that trade. And is this a problem for the Raptors? Well, looking at it very surface level, Masai Ujiri being so good at making trades that teams are scared to trade with him, not really a problem per se. He's so good at making trades, teams are scared to trade with him. I'm sorry, but if you want the player, Masai Ujiri is the one doing the negotiations, and he typically comes out on top in these things. So, he's not just going to roll over and take anything. So that was an interesting piece that people were talking about in the Discord, where are people scared to trade with the Raptors? I mean, if they are, I guess that's more so of a good thing. But maybe teams understand that Masai usually tries to fleece people. But then you look at the actual trade here, and as I said, I don't even know what the draft compensation here is. That's just not quite enough for Pascal Siakam. This is a 2-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star. A guy gives you 23 to 25 points per game, doing so quite efficiently. One of the nicest ISO players in the league, good on the defensive end as well. This two-way star on the wing is very hard to come by in the NBA. So you're not just going to give that away. But thinking about it from an Atlanta side of things, Siakam's probably going to be a rental, so they don't want to go all out to trade for him. So you got to understand both sides of the equation. For the Raptors, they didn't want to just take whatever for this guy. That's a solid trade package by the Hawks. I think they need to do a little bit better. And from the Atlanta side of things, they don't want to go all out for a player who's likely going to be a rental. But maybe the Raptors, have to recognize that there's a distinct possibility at that Siakam does walk for free in the summer, just like Fred VanVleet did. So do you cut your losses here and say, well, we don't want that to happen again? DeAndre Hunter's a great player and starts for us immediately. AJ Griffin is a player that maybe we can work with, in the draft compensation really helps kickstart a little bit of a rebuild, which was what we would be doing if we made this trade. Is it the Raptors? Is it time for them to now cut their losses and come to this decision? Well, that's the problem here. Masai Ujiri, and what has caused all these problems recently, Masai Ujiri has no idea what direction this team is going in. Every new report that comes out still suggests the Raptors don't know what to do. So how can Masai Ujiri commit to a specific direction when he doesn't know what direction he wants to go at this present point? So that's where we've had all these problems arising. The Raptors don't want to commit to trading a good player because, well, they are unsure of if they want to trade him. They're unsure if they want to make themselves worse. They might want to make themselves better. And while they're all deciding and debating what the best course of action for the future is, players walk, players leave for free. And there's Gunshot in chat talking about specifically the Lowry deal. Lowry at the 2021 trade deadline, where all these teams were interested, and the Raptors made space on the roster by trading Terrence Davis and Matt Thomas for peanuts. Just 2 second-round picks for both the 2 second-round picks combined for those players. Making those trades over to roster spots, he still didn't pull the trigger on a Kyle Lowry trade. Just to keep Kyle Lowry for the rest of the season. Just to not play him for the rest of the season, pretty much, and just have him sitting out games as we were tanking, and then trading him and taking on that garbage Goran Dragic contract, which turned into us giving away a first-round pick along with Dragic for Thaddeus Young. Yes, when he could have potentially had Tyrese Maxey from the Philadelphia 76ers. There's just been a complete lack of ability from the front office to choose a direction. So that's where the problems are arising. Maybe teams are looking at the Raptors right now and thinking that they're in no position to have all of this leverage in negotiations. So besides aggressive trade tactics, well, the Raptors have no leverage in these deals because they are not really going anywhere, and teams know that. So until the Raptors pick a direction, decide what they want to do with their team, they very much are struggling to gain leverage in these negotiations. Without the leverage, Masai can't get what he wants in his deals. Without Masai being completely happy with a trade, he's not going to make it. And therefore, the Raptors are stuck in this position right now where they have no idea what to do with their team and no idea what they're doing with players. And they're very much running the risk of losing players like Siakam and OG and possibly Gary Trent Jr. for free, as they are all on track to become free agents at the end of the season. So that's where the complications really are arising for the Raptors. And 100%, the front office is at fault. I'm not completely out on the front office at this point, but for sure, we're probably starting to get to that point. And that's where the situation is extremely, extremely worrying for myself in Toronto. So, I don't know. Do you guys think Raptors take what they can get for Siakam? Or is it keep a hold of him and try to find another contract next summer?